everybody, welcome. It's Juliet here, and today we are going to be making this really pretty pendant, or it could be an earring. It's not that big. So at the top here I put some jump rings, but you could just put an earring finding if you wanted, and it's only it's less than 2 inches, including the top and the drop. So you could use it as an earring, and it is using these really pretty beads that came in our Sunny Solstice treasure box for the month of June from Potomac Beads. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, I will put a link below for that. So all of these beads that I'm using today came out of that box, but you may have some of them in your stash, or you may be able to have some that are the same size that you could substitute something else. But anyway, so let's get into it. I'll show you the materials and then we'll start making. Okay, so the materials that you are going to need is you're going to need an oval bead. This one is flat, but if you could use a round one as well. This is 20 millimeters long and it's 9 millimeters wide. Okay. And then you're going to need a drop of some kind. So I'm using this one that was in the treasure box. Just a little check textured drop bead. These were only available for the treasure box, I believe, as well as these. But you know, you can find something similar or something else that works with your beads. And then here I have 6 4mm rounds, and I am using these Athenacast Gunmetal Melon beads that came in our box, but these are available on the Potomac website as well, if you want to use those. And they do come in more than gunmetal. They come in several different colorways, different metals, you know. Then I'm using some tubelets in Aztec gold. Again, these came in our treasure box, and these are also available on the website. Okay. And then here we have some round duos. This is the vintage copper color. Last time I checked, they had these in stock on the website. I don't know if they still have them, but you know, it's worth looking. And then you're going to need a color A and a color B of 11 seed beads. I'm using these Azuki ones that came in our treasure box. So I'm using this number 6, which is the really kind of reddish copper one, is my color B, and the one next to it is the color A, kind of rose gold color. But you can use a different brand if you don't have these, or you know, I would suggest probably Miyuki. You may need to adjust a couple of numbers here and there if you know you're using a different brand. Like if you're using Toho, you might need to use fewer in some places, or if you're using you know, check beads, you might need to add one here or there in the pattern. But anyway, okay, and then you're going to need about a wingspan, about as to stretch your arms out from one side to the other as far as they go. That's how much thread you're going to need. It does use a lot, and I am using the dragon thread in smoke today, the size 6 dragon thread. Okay, and other than that, the only thing you need is a pair of scissors, and I'm using a size 10 beading needle. Okay, so to begin, go ahead, find your end and hold it kind of so you can leave 2 times the length of your needle towards the end as something you can weave into the end. Okay, you're going to pick up one of your round duos. You're going to go through your bead, and you're going to pick up another round duo, and you're going to go back through your bead, and so the round duo that we just added is going to sit at the end like this. And you want to try and get it so that the tension between the two holes is even. Otherwise, it's going to throw off your whole tension. Okay, I think that's pretty good. You can even take your needle and just kind of force it. Okay, and then, so we've got this one dangling on the end here. You're going to sew through where your short end is. So this is my short end. I'm going to go through that hole, and that will attach that on to the other end. Give it all a nice little tug. Again, try and adjust those beads if you need to, so that they are sitting more or less straight. Okay, so now we are going to pick up a tubelet, a round duo, a tubelet, a round duo, and a tubelet. Okay, so tubelet, duo, tubelet, round duo, tubelet. And coming out from the round duo at the top here, I'm going to enter into the round duo, the same hole we're using that's closest into our bead. Okay, so not the far away hole, the close in hole. You're going to go into that close in hole and pull, and it's going to create a little frame around your bead like this. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that. So we're going to pick up a tubelet, a round duo, a tubelet, a round duo, and one more tubelet. Okay, and you're going to enter in to the other, sorry, okay, you're going to enter into the top side, the same lower down hole that the tubelets are coming out from. Okay, and pull. Okay, so we now have this, and you may need to kind of adjust a little bit, and it may look a little wonky at the moment. That's fine, okay, but this is what it should look like. Then we're going to pick up two of our color A seed bead. So I'm coming out from my round duo at the top. I'm going to enter into the round duo. Okay. And then I'm going to pick up two more. And I'm going to enter into the lower hole of the round duo. Okay. So we just have now two beads at the top like this. Okay. So now we are going to go ahead, move through all the side beads and stay in the same hole that you know that your thread is already in. So don't use the outer holes, just stay in the inner holes of the round duo. You want to go through the one that you already have thread in. Okay, and pass through the lower hole of your round duo. Okay, pick up two of your A seed bead, go into the upper hole of your round duo. Pick up two more A's and go into the lower hole. Okay, so it now looks like this. And then just in order to kind of make sure that our tension is even on each side, we're just going to pass through all of those beads one more time. This bit you kind of do need to reinforce. Just helps with keeping it all from getting too loosey-goosey. Okay. And when you get to the top, you're going to pass through the the inner hole of the closest into the center hole of that round duo. Okay, so now we are ready to start the next layer. So we are going to pick up one of our B beads, one of our 4mm beads, and another B. Okay, we're going to enter into the outside hole of the next round duo. So not the inside hole, but the outside hole. Okay, and you want that to sit, so there is going to be a little bit of overlap with these seed beads right here. So you want the new beads to sit behind these beads on the top. Okay, so they should sit kind of behind a little bit. Okay, go ahead and repeat that. Pick up a B bead, sorry, I've missed a step. We have to also pick up 3 B beads and pass again through the same hole of our round duo. Okay, so like this. So they're going around the outside. Okay, now we pick up another one. So a seed bead, a 4mm, and a seed bead. And then we're going to go into the outside hole of the next round duo. Okay, again we have to pick up 3 of our B beads, go through the same round duo hole again, then you're going to pick up the same pattern here. Okay, and this is the weird bit right here. We're going into the inner hole and kind of underneath our 2 seed beads right here. So you want to aim in underneath and go through the inside hole. So here we're going through the outside holes, but here we're going through the inside hole. Okay. And then you're going to repeat the exact same thing on the other side. So seed bead, 4mm, and seed bead, outside hole. Make sure that those kind of sit towards the back. Okay, pick up your 3 B beads, pass through the round duo again, the same hole, and then again just repeat. Go into the outside hole, 3 B beads, into the same hole again to form that loop. Okay, and last time, last 4mm, and you're going to go into that inside hole of your round duo. Okay. Okay. So now it looks like this, and it's still quite floppy at this point. That's normal. Don't worry, you haven't done anything wrong. It's just the way it is. Okay. All right. So coming out from this hole right here, you're going to pick up 5 of your A beads. So 5. And you're going to go into, we're coming out the inside hole, we're going into the next inside hole right here. Okay, so just, and these are going to sit above this, okay? So you want it to sit in front of that. You're going to repeat this all the way around. So pick up 5. And go into the next inside hole. Pick up 5 again. The inside hole. And just do make sure that these lines are sitting in front of everything else, okay? They should be kind of on the top. Okay, I'm adding my last set of 5, and I'm going through the inside hole of my round duo at the top here, and I'm making sure that that line sits on top of everything else. Okay, so now you're going to pass up through the 2A beads that are next to your round duo right here. Okay, and you have to decide whether this is the top or the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to make it be my bottom. So I'm going to pick up 2 more A beads. I'm going to pick up my drop, and I want to make sure that the drop is on the front, which is the side with the seed beads on it, okay? And because these are smooth on the back, but they have a texture on the front, so I want the texture to show. And then 2 more. Obviously, if you have a different drop, you might need to adjust your numbers here, okay? But if you have the treasure box, you can do it this way. And then you're going to go up through the 2 A beads on the other side. Okay, so our drop is now, that is now our bottom. Okay, and then you're going to pass through these 3 the seed bead, the 4mm, and the seed bead here. Make sure that your thread does not get looped around your drop or any of your seed beads that you just added. Okay, and then you're going to pass through the outside hole of your round duo. Okay, so now you're going to pick up 3 of your A beads. You're going to go into the 3rd bead, which is the middle bead of this strip of 5 right here. Go into that 3rd bead, okay? So like this, and then you're going to pick up 3 more, and you're going to go into the next round duo outside hole. And these beads should kind of form a little X on the top, okay? So here you're going to pick up 3, go into that middle bead, the 3rd bead, okay? And here we're only going to pick up 2. And we're going to go up through these 2 seed beads, A beads, that are already here on the side of our round duo. Okay, so you're only picking up 2, and then we're going through 2. Okay, so it looks like this. Here we're going to add like a top area for you to hang it with. So what I like to do is I add 4 and then I'm going to go back later and add a 5th one. And you go down your next 2 seed beads on the side of your round duo there, okay? So we'll add another one in the middle and it'll create a kind of point, okay? Then here we only pick up 2 and then we go into that 3rd seed bead on the loop of 5. Okay, here we pick up 3. And we go through the outside hole of the round duo. Here we pick up 3, go into 1, 2, 3. Okay, had to count, make sure I was going in the right one there. Okay, again 3, into the round duo. Three, into that middle seed bead, and here 2. And you're going to go through the 2 that are on the side of your round duo. So the first 2 here, okay, plus then reinforce your drop area, okay. So just go down the next 2 through your drop, and then you could go up all 4 of those A beads. Okay. Here we only pick up 2. Go into the 1, 2, 3, 3rd bead. And here we pick up 3. And go through the round duo. And just try and keep your tail out of the way while you're doing all this. Okay, so it should now look like this. Okay. So now we're going to move forward by going up these 3 that we just added in the last round, okay? And then pass through that shared bead in the middle. And down through these 2 beads on the inside. So we're now on the inner layer here, okay? You're going to pick up 1 of your B beads, and you're going to go up through the first 3 on the next group of 5 right here. You're going up those first 3. And you really want to kind of pull these X's inwards, okay? Like we're only adding 1 bead there, okay? Then you're going to go down the 2 inside beads, and you're going to pick up 1 B bead, and then we're going to go up over these 5 inside beads. So up the first 3 and then down the next 2, okay? So we're only working on those inside loops right now. And this should be pulling everything inward, okay? Pick up 1 B bead, go up through the next 3, first 3, next two. One bee bead up the first three. Down the next two. Pick up one bee bead, go up the next three. Down the next two, and then we're almost back to where we started. Pick up one bee bead and go up the next three. And just pull everything inwards. Now, if there is a little bit of gappiness, that is okay, because our next step will probably fix that for you, okay? You may need to massage some of your seed beads, particularly these ones at the top and the bottom here, okay? Why is that one sitting? Hang on, I think I've caught this one when I shouldn't have. Okay, I fixed it. Yeah, I did. I accidentally caught that one in when I came up and went down, and so I had to go back and remove that. So be careful that you're making sure you only go through those three that you should be going through. Okay, so now make your way down to the next bee bead from your X. Okay. So come out from one of the bee beads that we just added, and then we're going to pick up 4 bee beads. Okay, and here you may need to adjust your numbers if you have a different brand of bead or whatever. You're going to go through the next bee bead. So we're just going to add an extra line like this, okay? And we're going to do that all the way around, and it's just 4 every single time. So the numbers do not change for this. So 4, 4 into the next bee bead. And this is why I'm saying if there's a little bit of a gap, it's not bad, because you're going to have an extra row of beads there going into it. Okay, and then 4 into the next one. Four into the next one. And you can kind of be pulling inwards for this. 4 into the next one. And 4. And you're going back into that very first bee bead that is there in that line, okay? And I highly recommend going around this inside line again to reinforce, okay? So I'm gonna do that quickly off camera, and then I will come back. Okay, so I just went around that inside oval there, and I am back to the bead that I started in. So now we're going to move through the next cross area. So move up the first 3, and then we're going to add that middle bead right up at the top here, okay, that I mentioned earlier. So you're going to have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beads you want to go through from not counting the shared bead. Okay, so after this, the shared bead, you want to go through 6 beads, and then you're going to pick up 1 extra bead and go down 6. Okay, go through the shared bead again, and then we're going to move to the outside. So go down those 3, okay? And then what we're going to do is flip over to the back here. So I'm coming out from this 3rd bead here. I'm going to go through my round duo, okay? And then flip over to the back. And then we're going to join all of these groups together. So you're going to go down those 3 on the outside and then go around all these bee beads here on the edge, okay? So we're just going around the outside area here and through the 4 millimeters and the bee beads. When you get here, you're going to add 3 or 4, see what fits. It's kind of been different for me each time. I'm going to do 4, I think. And you're going to jump straight over into the next group. Okay. So it's going to make a little line like that on the back. And then continue reinforcing that the bee beads and the 4 millimeters only, okay? And you're going to do something similar at the top, add 3 or 4 beads right across the top, going into the next group. Okay. And once you've made it all the way around the outside, you can flip over to the front. And if you feel like there are any areas on your crosses that you want to reinforce, you can go ahead and do that now. Otherwise, you can just tie off and your pendant will be done. So I think for this one, I mean, these are looking pretty good. So I'm gonna tie off and then I'll show you what I'm gonna do to hang it, okay? So I'll be back once I've tied in my threads. Okay, so all I did is I happened to have some rose gold colored jump rings, so I added 2 jump rings, and then I'll decide if I want to make a necklace. I'll hang it like that, or I can put it through a chain. Or obviously, if you wanted to use it as an earring, I mean, it could be used as an earring. It's not that big. You can just put your earring hoop through there. So anyway, that's our pendant slash earring. I hope you have enjoyed this project, and I will see you guys in next week for another video. Take care for now. Bye.